Hey gorgeous bookie people, if you haven't guessed, I intend to start every single video in autumn with a different mug slash hot drink. And that is because I am a huge fan and believer in Hygge. I'm hoping everybody has heard a little bit about this, but if not, fear not, I'm going to give you a one-stop shop Imogen's guide to what is Hygge, how do you find it, how do you make your autumn so much better by reading up on it. So do not fear. So as you can see, today I'm using my cozy cat mug, and that is because Hygge is a Danish word all about coziness, comfiness, that warm, snug, beautiful feeling when you get inside the living room after work and you're like all wrapped up and it's raining outside and it's just beautiful. So I wasn't going to film this video today, and then so as you can see by my face, I'm sweaty, gross and exhausted because I just got in from work. And it is indeed raining outside, and I am in major need of some major Hygge lovingness. So I'm going to get in the zone with you guys so you can see what it's all about. And alongside that, I am going to be doing a review of this book. So this is the little Book of Hygge, and it says The Danish Way to Live Well. It's by Meek, I can't say this, as usual, but it's Meek Viking, I think. Mike Viking. I'm gonna go with Mike Viking because that's well easy to say. But basically, he is from the Institute of Happiness in Copenhagen, or a research institute of happiness. And his job is to find out what makes people tick, but in the good way, as in what makes people happy. And we all love to be happy, and I know at this time of year, some people find it super hard because they may be affected by SAD, so seasonal affectiveness disorder. I think I'm getting that right. And that basically means that you're really super affected by outside and the weather, and if you don't get enough sunlight, and it can really affect you. A little bit like, I like to think of it a little bit like pathetic fallacy. Yes, I did English Lit for A-level. Thank you very much. Anyway. So this book takes you through a little guide on not only how to find Hygge, but what Hygge is and where the word derives from, which I find super interesting. And I'm not going to take you through the whole thing because that would ruin it for you, and I really do think you should check out this book. But I know you're probably shouting at the screen right now, Imogen, what is Hygge? Can you please tell me already? It is, as I said, the Danish word for coziness. And this is my little one-stop shop of how I find Hygge in my life and how it was also affirmed by said book, which I won't refer back to too much, but you should check this out and find your own way to find Hygge. So, Hygge is really great for introverts and equally extroverts. And I know I don't know what you are out there, I am personally an introvert, although a lot of people think that I am an extrovert. But I'm not. I need my own space completely, and I mentioned this a little bit in my wrap-up from September, but basically I need my own space a lot. I need at least 1 hour a day where it is just me on my own, wrapped up, away from everybody else. That includes my husband. I just need my own space. I can't function. I get a lot of anxiety, I get very stressed. Even like if I'm at work all day, I need to make sure that I leave the office at some point and get away from people. So it's really important to me, and so I find it quite difficult to socialize a lot with big groups of people, and especially big groups of extroverted people, because I find it very overwhelming. And especially so little things like if I'm going to a house party and I don't know everyone who's going to be there, or I don't know what sort of format the evening will take, which I know sounds ridiculous, but are we talking a dinner party? Are we talking a house party? Are we talking like music? Are we talking sitting down, standing up? I literally asked that question recently actually before we went to a house party. I said to my husband, oh, is this going to be a seated party or more of a standing party? And he looked at me like I was a lunatic. But to anybody who gets a little bit anxious out there, you will feel my pain. Anyway, so the benefit of having an evening which is all about Hygge and finding Hygge is that it's usually best done with, say, 3 people. It is a sociable event, although you can do it on your own. But the idea is that it's 3 people who are really close to you, and this is all covered in the book. but it's people who you feel super comfortable around. You can dress in your big baggy jumpers, hence my giant jumper today for this video. You can, like, you feel at ease to discuss anything, to have long moments of silence, because that's so important in a friendship, to be able to sit comfortably and silently. But also that you don't cover difficult topics. So for example, if you're having a particularly Hygge evening, you probably will not discuss politics or work or that sort of drama-y stuff. It's all easy topics of conversation that everybody can get involved in and everybody's comfortable with. So that is why it is good for extroverts, because they're being sociable, they're being chatty, they've got people around them, but it's also good for introverts because we don't feel threatened. You're not going to struggle with that sort of atmosphere, basically. So that's how many people you need at your Hygge party. I hope you're writing this all down so that you can have your equally Hygge evening. I want pictures and I want people to tell me below how their Hygge-ness has gone. Because at the end of the day, I'm English, so I don't have to stick 100% to the Danish meaning of the word. We don't have an English version of this word, so I can do what the hell I want with it. That's where I'm going. And so next, it's super, super important that when you're having a Hygge evening, you have a hot drink. So I'm having hot chocolate right now in the theme of this loveliness, but you could go with a mulled wine. I mean, it's nearly Christmas. Go with a mulled wine. Unless you're under 18, don't go with a mulled wine if you're under 18, or under 21 in America. I'm babbling, and on we go. It's this idea that when you get in out of the cold and you've got that warm, cozy, lovely hot drink thing going on, it's the same with smells. So one of the absolute key things in Hygge is lighting, and everybody will know when you get into, say you're going to someone's house and you're sitting down, you're having a coffee or whatever, and they've got that huge big light on, the big light as we call it in the north. And it just feels clinical, you know? It feels a bit weird, it feels a bit uncomfortable, and you want smaller little mood lights. So we have a gorgeous little side lamp, which I call my reading light, which is right next to the armchair, but it's the only thing that we have on in the evenings generally, and it's a lovely little bronze thing, so it has quite a warm glow on it. And that's also super important. So you don't want a big white light, you want a warm glow to the room. Again, making you feel cozy. This whole thing about Hygge is calming you down, slowing you down outside of all the stresses of your everyday life, and feeling warmth and friendship and love and safe from the outside, which kind of leads me nicely onto my next point. Hygge often works best when it is rainy and horrible and gross outside. So you know when it's stormy and people say, oh, I love it when it's stormy and I'm inside in my bed and I can feel the rain on the skylight. One of the reasons I hate that I don't have a skylight in this new house. But it's that idea that there is some element of danger that you're protected from. And Mike mentions this quite a lot in the book. He says that whole thing of Hygge is great because you feel secure, but you need an element of danger to feel so secure. So a storm is perfect for that, or a hailstorm, or just heavy rain, or really windy, cold weather. I know when I'm cycling to work in winter and I get back off my bike and like you're soaking wet, and I actually say I quite like it to rain on my way home from work. So I get that feeling of taking off all my soaking wet clothes and getting in the bath and feeling cozy. That's what it's all about. That's the only reason I have rabbits. So I can get home and see some rabbits and go, oh, rabbits! And it makes you feel cozy immediately. It's the only reason I've got them. Only reason. Anyway, before I stop babbling, in your house you can set it up so that you are more likely to get in this sort of Hygge mood and sort of release your stresses and that sort of thing. So a couple of things that I have done to make my new house feel a little bit more cozy is warm colours, textiles, and loads and loads and loads and loads of comfort, hence my reading chair. So actually I did a video on 5 things to help you read more, and one of those things was setting up a clear defined reading space. What I'm telling you to do now is set up a clear defined Hygge space, okay? So, this thing. So this is a giant, heavy, beautiful, like knit, ruggy type thing, which is like a white, weird colour on this side and more greeny on this side. And I cannot tell you how gorgeous this is to snuggle up in. I mean, look how big it is. It's like the biggest thing ever, and I wrap myself up in this every single night when I get home from work. Literally every night. It probably stinks. No, I'm joking, I do wash it. But I also have these. So the way things look is like important to me in my house. I need it to feel pretty. So I have these really nice complementary mustard and grey throw cushions, which, you know, people complain throw cushions are not needed for anything. I'm sorry, look at what I'm doing right now. I'm cuddling my throw cushion. You're telling me this isn't necessary? Because I would very much disagree, my friend. I think a cozy throw cushion that you can cuddle while wrapped in your in fact, I'm showing you the full image. Okay, you get home from work and you tell me that this isn't damn cozy. I'm sorry, who doesn't want to do this? I've got hot chocolate, I've got a cushion to cuddle, I've got a blanket wrapped around me, and I'm about to watch Star Trek for circa 3 to 4 hours. You tell me you can beat that evening and I will literally, like, buy your next book. 100%, hands down. You give me a better evening than that and I will buy you a book. Deal. In the comments now. Look a bit silly. Moving on. But this is why I feel that Hygge is so important, because so living in London, I see how stressful every day can be, and I also see how stressful we make life. So, for example, when I went to the Netherlands a couple of years ago, and I actually cycled there from London, go me. But it was so noticeable how much slower people's lives were and how much more relaxed people seemed, and for God's sake, the Danes are the happiest people in the world, hands down. They've done research about it. I'm gonna believe that stuff, like, and Hygge seems to be, from what my limited knowledge, Hygge seems to be a big part to play in that sort of, like, Nordic, Danish. I know I'm crossing loads of different countries together, by the way, when I'm saying all this stuff. I know that. I'm not stupid. I know all these places I'm discussing are separate countries. Go with it. But it's so intrinsic to their way of life, and this book really, really sums that up. So before I go, there's one last thing I want to look at and just show you guys. Oh, also, look how cozy! My Instagram is deliberately very Hygge based, by the way, if anyone's checked it out, at Book Sundays. So, there is a little bit of this book which basically says, what do the Danes associate with Hygge? And it's like, it's a survey that they've done basically, and at the top of that list is hot drinks. Second on that list is the whole lighting thing. It's candles, it's making you feel cozy, and candles are so important. Third on that is fireplaces, obviously, again, making that perfect fire, like, light ambiance thing. Just so your perfect romance time. And Christmas is next. I love Christmas. I cannot wait to be doing Christmas videos for you all. It is my favourite time of year. And that's probably because I love Hygge so much. And things like board games, music, holiday, all that sort of lovely jazz that you only treat yourself to in the break between Christmas and New Year, and you go on long walks and you put big jumpers on and big scarves on and big hats, and you make time for family time, you make time for friends, you make time to calm down in your everyday life. Why do you only do that, and me included, why do we only do that for ourselves in between Christmas and New Year? Because you are living with you all year. You deserve this all year, people. Like, I'm not preaching, but seriously, give yourself a foot rub. Like, give yourself a hot bath, some scented oils in there, a couple of candles on the side. Maybe, I mean, don't wear a big jumper in the bath because that's gonna weigh you down and you may drown. Moving on quite swiftly. But you get the point I'm trying to say. It's Hygge, there's a reason that the Danes are so happy, and there is a reason, quite frankly, why us British are, on the large scale of things, not incredibly happy. We don't spend enough time on us, and I don't think as a nation we value ourselves enough. I, like, love me, and if anybody asks me, I will tell them I love me. It's not because I'm full of myself, it's because I like to spend time on me. I like to spend time wrapping my, like today at work, people kept coming up to me saying, oh, you look so cozy. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm wearing a big jumper. Yeah, Like, why aren't you wearing a big jumper? Why are you wearing a tight, restricted, like, little pencil skirt dress? Why? It's cold outside, and you're uncomfortable and you're sat at your desk trying to cover your belly because you're wearing a tight pencil skirt dress. Just get comfortable, put a big baggy jacket on, put a big baggy jumper on, because no one will care at the end of the day, and you will do a lot better work if you're happy. So relax, people. Spend the next week acting, other than going to work, obviously, acting like it is that week between Christmas and New Year. And maybe write a little journal, write 3 lines down every day. In fact, if you are still watching this video, do this challenge with me, okay? And write in the comments to say you're doing it with me, and then we will do it together. So this week, I want you to try and live like it's between Christmas and New Year. Go for a nice warm walk, make yourself a hot chocolate when you got home, make sure you eat nice, comforting, hot, stewy type food, make sure that you relax, make sure you have a bath and spend a little bit of time unplugged and enjoying yourself, and write down 3 things of how you felt that day, every day that week. And then for 3 days after you finish that week, keep doing it. And you've gone back to normal, or even before the week starts, that might make more sense. And just see the difference, see how much better you feel, and also probably how much better your productivity is in the workplace because you feel like this. That's all I gotta say. It became less like a review of the Little Book of Hygge and more about Imogen preaching. So cheers to that, guys, and have a lovely remainder to your week, and I will see you all next week. Bye, and stay cozy.